Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Safe Space Between Us. I'm your host, Kieran, and my lovely mate, Lee. What's happening, Lee?
Hey, dude, you're right. I love that video.
Oh,
My brother did that video, so it's subscribed every week.
Yeah, I just wanted to play that video to show what else we kind of do. I was all right because we spoke off air, but I've just read another comment, which I'll get to in a minute. Literally just now, like it's a game of chess. So I'm going to play this video one more time because I just need to regroup. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Safe Space Between Us. I'm your host, Kieran. That's my lovely mate, Lee. Lee, what's happening?
Hey, dude, you all right?
Yeah, I've been better, mate. I've been better. But we live and laugh. Thank you for anyone who's going to watch this on this lastminute.com podcast. We actually do have a guest on at 9 o'clock telling her story. But I want to discuss what it's like living in SE18 and also reassuring people what we hear and what we do. It's an open space. People are welcome to comment. And I would appreciate people come on and to have a conversation with us instead of being keyboard warriors. So let's go. First of all, I'd just like to address someone who has commented on Facebook like it's a game of chess. Apparently she works in an insurance company and apparently the next move is mine. Firstly, I don't take kindly with threats, and secondly, I think if you work in a public insurance company, please do check your laws and rules and regulations. Someone volunteering, doing the garden, doing my neighbour's garden, I do not need insurance. But on that comment, I will go and get insurance just to tip people's mouths. So on that note, I've got a statement written by hand for Plumstead. And Plumstead take this...
Can you just explain for people who like tuning in from around the world what's actually happened today?
Sorry. So first of all, Safe Space Between Us is not just about Plumstead. It's more than Plumstead. Plumstead will be left behind if Plumstead don't want to be very judgmental. But everyone around the world, we continue to support. We are a support network group that myself, Lee, and the lovely ladies who work with us have our own different qualifications and what we're able to do and what we're able not to do. We have declined to become a non-profitable charity. We have chosen to support charities around the world, and charities close to our heart. We also have supported 229 people around the world in either befriending them, giving them support, signposting, helping them with tools, and many other things. So that's one thing. One thing I did say when I started is I need to be honest with my story for me to be able to go out there to help people. So quick short story is last year I turned crazy. I turned to drugs, cocaine, drink, spent every penny we had, got in so much debt and everything. My children nearly got taken off me because of me. I nearly lost my wife over it. Reasons why? An incident that happened when I was 14 happened. I found out my father had two daughters elsewhere all my life. I've got an illness called sarcoidosis, which is lumps on my lymph nodes, and my so-called bubble at the time judged me like hell and tried to sector me, tried to or encourage me more of drinking drugs. Again, I don't blame them. I have my own brain. I chose to do drinks and drugs. Um, I am now, and it might not be nothing to anyone, I am now 6 months clean, which I'm happy about. Thank you, Lee. And the reason I started a safe space between us is because I wish no one ever to feel alone like I did and feel that they can't speak out because the stigma out there is really bad. Also, to help show my children that daddy can become a better person and we can turn our lives around and help people regardless if they're nice to you or not. We could go out there and help them. And again, having a safe space to tell your story. I do not do this for awards. I do not do this for thanks, and I do appreciate those thanks and people saying we've saved their lives and stuff. I have turned down many opportunities to go on TV, many opportunities to gain money out of this myself. As you know, Lee, it's not about subscribers to me. It's not about members to me. It's about who we can support and breaking that stigma. So when I say the next 10 minutes is going to be talking about my area of Plumstead, there's a reason about that, and I'll get to it. So there's a lot of stigma recently about me supporting charities and my team, lovely Lee, Carrie, Tessa, and Omni. Much respect to you, and also your families and my family, my household, and your families who stick by us and let us do this and support us because we love what we do. Am I opinionated? Yes. Am I a dickhead? Probably yes. Have I done stupid stuff? Probably yes. Do I deny it? No, I don't. Could I sit here and name call and single out people and say, but you do this and you've done that? Yes, I could, but I'm not like that. Again, I think I need to make it clear why I do this. And does it make me feel better in myself doing it? Probably yes. Is that the only reason I'm doing it? No. So my area, so short story is we're doing fundraising for charities and causes, etc. The fundraising was really slow. We've done a 24-hour podcast of Dyeing My Hair Blue, which is turning green. We're jumping out, we're doing skydiving, we're climbing mountains, and we've got loads of other stuff to talk about, which we can do and we're going to do. So what I've done, I realised the communities, my community, people around me, people with illnesses, people with strokes, people with disabilities are getting treated, getting quoted 300 quid for doing a basic job and stuff like that. So what I went out and done, I'll come and do your job if I am able to do it. And if so, just please donate to the fundraising page. That's what I've asked. That's what I've asked. Nothing more, nothing less. I decline jobs that I feel it's not safe for me. I decline jobs that I feel I might mess up, that I might cause damage, or I might not do the job properly. And in the world we live in, community should be me and Lee have an agreement as adults of Lee wants me to do his garden. Lee, I will do your garden, but I want to use my equipment because then I can only blame myself for breaking my equipment. Please let me know if that area you would like me to clear or not. If you say yes, okay, I'm clearing all that area. Happy days, happy man-to-man agreement. I then get a lot of people say people are good at turning things around in Plumstead, and I'm sorry people are in Plumstead because they know I'm I will stand my ground. So I appreciate the love and respect everyone has given me for doing what I do, and I hope you enjoy your gardens, which so many of you are enjoying your gardens. I do not have £300 to pay someone to do my garden, so I don't expect you to have £300 to pay someone to do your garden. But when people talk about insurance, let's state facts. The facts are, for me to do my next door neighbour's garden or Lee's garden or your garden, I don't need to be insured. I just need me to make sure I know how to use the tools, first of all. And if that's the case, do we need insurance for Lee, the ice cream vans outside, for you to buy me an ice cream? What happens if the ice cream man hits you? Am I going to get sued? That's one. Second, because I've been getting a lot of praise, and it is a lot of praise, our comments have been turned off. Lee, you have been banned today, restricted to one post a day on Plumstead people. So let's not beat around the bush and let's not lies. We're not children. Let's grow up here. I have not criticised anyone around the world who wants to do fundraising, regardless where I believe the funds go. There are local football clubs, there are local charities or so-called charities out there in this community, and if you do your investigations there, you know money goes in their pockets. You can, anything you want of me, I will provide. Yeah, anything you want of me, I'll provide. I'm an open book. So here is my statement to Plumstead, and I have written this tonight, And I want to say thank you to Emma, my wife, because she usually don't want me to do this just because she's worried about what people say about her. But we both have had enough of people treating us like shit. So here is my statement. Dear community, today I stand before you with a heavy heart, bearing a message that begs your attention. It is a plea for understanding, compassion, and a recognition of power we possess to shape a better community and world together. In our community, judgment and stigma have plagued us for far too long. Notions and harsh criticisms have created a culture of divisions and hurt. It is within this reality that I find the strength to take action, to dedicate my time and effort, to volunteer tirelessly to do what we do. Why, you may wonder, is because I am driven by a profound desire to become a better man, father, and role model. I have experienced firsthand the pain caused by judgment and the weight of stigma. But instead of allowing it to define me, I've chosen to transform that pain into being a catalyst for positive change. My commitment to this community and the world lies not in mere words, but in unwavering action. I am here offering my support freely and wholeheartedly in the hope of fostering unity and growth. I believe that truth, transformation begins with each individual's, and I am dedicated to providing the necessary resources and support to empower others. Even those who have directed hate towards me, I extend my hand, for it is what I want to do. Those who harbour animosity that need our understanding the most. Through empathy, we can bridge the divides that have torn us apart, forging a path towards healing and reconciliation. But let us not forget the pain that I have endured. It is through this pain that I've gained deep understanding of heartfulness and exists within our community. It has driven me to be an advocate for change, and not just for my sake, but the sake of every individual who has suffered silently. I implore you, my fellow community members, to open your hearts and minds. Let us ride above the hurtful past and work towards building a future where judgment and stigma have no place. Together we can create an environment that we can growth, empathy, and kindness. I care deeply for each and every one of you, even if the face of adversity. It is my sincerest hope that by sharing my story and dedicating my time, we can show the seeds of transformation and sow the seeds of understanding. Let us put an end to the mere act of talking and embrace the power of actions. Join me on this journey, and together we can pave the way for a brighter, more compassionate community and world. With gratitude and determination, Kieran. That's from me. And I will post that. Which I will be helping each other. I will post that on the group and on Plumstead People, and hopefully we get knocked back. I want to be honest. Let's talk about why I get knocked back. I took cocaine. Yes, I took cocaine. Yeah. I took cocaine with a lot of teachers and school workers and football coaches and council workers. I did, but I had my own brain. I'd done that. I had a fight with my son. I'd done that. I got arrested. That was me. I'm opinionated. That's Kieran. But with Kieran, and the only thing I will accept and I'm proud of is I do the talk, but I do the walk as well. Yeah, I walk and talk. I do the action. And with too many of you behind the screen, behind the keyboard, and I'm not here for members, I'm not here for like, I'm here for people who want to be a safe space and not be judged and tell their story. People come and go, it doesn't really matter. But let's be honest, please stop judging me and hating on me, on jealousy, on me becoming a better person. I have attempted suicide before. Last October, I did try an overdose. Yeah, you do not understand, Plumstead, and I mean this directly to Plumstead, that your nasty actions, your judgmental, disgraceful behaviour, because of maybe I'm the celebrity of Plumstead at the moment, which I don't want to be. I just want to do my bit and go home and eat my dinner and go to sleep. And talk to my friends like Lee, Carrie, Tessa, Omni, and whoever else, and all the lovely members on here. And one thing I've learned, by doing these gardens for everyone, you hear people's story. And Plumstead, you should be ashamed of yourself. Those who are judging, there are people out there who have had strokes, who can't even walk. People out there who've lost a partner due to cancer. People lost a dad or wife or husband due to suicide, and you're moaning about someone going there to help them, because these people have no one, because they're scared to talk because of us in society are bullies, and we're being so judgmental. Give it a break. Give it a break. People be big enough to come approach me and talk. Be an adult. Let's have an adult conversation. Let's not just go on social media and try and single me out, because that's fine. Again, it's not a problem. But that statement, what I wrote to my community, I will post out there a bit later. But on that note, I continue to do gardening, and anyone who wants to call me, feel free and call me on 0800 333. No, feel free to give me a message. Everyone. So I apologise. I don't know who's commenting. I can just see the Facebook user. Unfortunately for me, I'm going to say one more thing. I've lived in Plumstead. I'm 34. I think I'm 34. I've lived in Plumstead my whole life. I have gave, and I don't want awards here. I'm not asking for wave the Kieran flags. I'm not. I have done more than good than bad for this community. My family have, and I mean my kids and my missus, my local football team, and my football team, not the club, my football team. Because let's not give credit where it's not due anymore, because clubs can take recognition but don't do jack. I have defended so many people around this. I have treated kids, open opportunities for children out there. I've got people in scholarship. I've done interview techniques. I've developed kids from not being kicking a ball to being able to kick a ball, regardless of the race, skin, disability, or anything. And we went everywhere doing food, and a respect to people who donated. It isn't just me. Like this, a safe space between us. It isn't the Kieran show. It's the Lee. It's the Tessa. It's the Carrie. It's the Omni. It's your show. It's everyone's show. It's members. Everyone has the right to come on. I took a phone call last night, 3 o'clock this morning, from someone in America who is actually coming on. And it's not my place to discuss what we discuss, but that's what we do. Yeah, maybe 3 o'clock was the big extreme, but I took the phone call because the poor lady needed someone to talk to, and I took the phone call. Yeah, when you're doing things like that and doing other things to support kids, support others, and all that, then please talk. I've had enough of people talking and not doing action. Let's do action. Let's work together, not against each other. I think that's all I really want to say on Plumstead. Everything else can be put on social media and leave it as that. I've got nothing else to say. The only thing I will say, if Plumstead can't get together and realise the damage they cause, we cause a lot of damage, you know that, us society. We cause a lot of, because people will look at that now yesterday, of my post of me doing a good thing and people saying, well done, blah, blah, and then today of the other effect. And people will now say, I can't talk. I'm going to get judged. I'm scared to talk. Yeah. We might have just called someone to commit suicide tonight. Who knows? Due to me and the rest of Plumstead, because of we arguing and not being together. We're adults. We should be trying the next generation of children. You can talk about your feelings without being judged. You can talk. You can change, regardless of bad. Yeah. Obviously, there's certain bad things that I don't agree with and stuff, but we all have an opinion. But we can change. We should be showing our children we can change. We should be showing those poor kids out there who have a disability that they're our superheroes. We can be showing people and open doors. We don't need paying all the time to help people. I don't need paying to help people. Yeah, paying might help me. But anyway, I could be here all night and ranting. Lee, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, it's true what you're saying, because if you look at the coronation weekend, what was their big drive on the Monday? Go and help someone day. It was a volunteer day. That's what we're doing as a group, and that's what you're doing when you're doing the gardens and stuff like that. You're giving your time to help others. And what's wrong with that? You're not causing anyone any harm. You're not sitting there trying to ram down people's throat your opinions and your ideas. You're turning up, and like you said, you're using your own equipment. I just don't understand why people want to sit there and put it down. You're not hurting nobody. If you don't agree with what people are doing, just don't comment on it. No one's got to say. Some people agree with what you're doing, some people will not. That's fine. Everyone can be entitled to their opinion, but if you don't agree with it, you don't have to voice it. Because like you said, people are going to be scared to back you up now, because they might be scared they might get 30 other comments saying that you're wrong. So they won't say a nice thing or well done. And like you said, that could stop someone from talking.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing.
And the thing is, I always say, use this platform to let's have a chat. We don't need to argue. I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone who disagrees with something. We can have a chat and listen to both opinions. But no one steps up, and no one wants to step up in the community. And I know who the people are talking, and I know who they are. Yeah, and these are people working in looking after children, looking after doing in the council and stuff like that. Just give it a rest. And people need to ask, why are these people saying this stuff about Kieran? Yes, he's been open, he's done coke. Have I killed anyone? Have I raped anyone? No, I haven't. Have I killed an animal? No, I haven't. Did I take cocaine? Yes, I did. How many times do I have to say it? That is the last time I'm going to say it. I do not owe anyone else an apology. I have said my sorries. I have paid my dues. I've had to build a massive, and still now, a respect in my household back of what I lost because of my own doing. Yeah, that's hard enough. This community would be happy probably if I committed suicide tonight. If that's what they want, yeah, it's not going to happen. But would that help? Would that get community talking? Because it doesn't. The community only want to talk when it's too late. Let's not leave it too late, and let's stop hurting people's feelings. Let's stop thinking we're the government, and let's make change together as a team, not against each other. But anyway, everyone around the world, this is about you as well, not just about Plumstead. We love you. I love you. Lee loves you. Lee, what else did we want to talk about today?
Yeah, so I don't know if some people have watched EastEnders lately. Not a big, massive fan of EastEnders, but I've caught like the last week with Lola's character dying of a brain tumour, and especially the last 2 episodes, I think she died tonight. It's not a spoiler because of it's been announced for the last couple of weeks. This was the date she was dying, but it just brought back a lot of memories from when Claire was ill, because we thought she was going to die. And especially the person who plays her husband, Jay's character, giving the support and keeping it together. That was sort of like that. It is in a way my role now with what I'm doing. And it was very uncomfortable to watch because it felt quite real. It brought back the raw feelings and emotions of the situation. And I'm not saying it was wrong for EastEnders to do that, because they've done a really good job with handling the situation. But it just did really feel uncomfortable. And I think it's because I noticed, and this is one thing I've been quite a big advocate for the last couple of years, and it sounds a bit selfish, but what about the support for the family member or members that are dealing with someone who's ill or like terminally ill or stuff like that? Because they're the ones that's got to keep it together. But that's like one of the most loneliest places. Because like with my wife's situation, if I'm going through a tough time, she's got a daily struggle. She's got to get up and take 130 tablets a week to stay alive. She's in chronic pain all the time. I know you suffer chronic pain as well. Obviously, stuff with the medical going on and getting used to having a brain injury and stuff like that is very frustrating. And then if I've got a problem, I don't always feel like I can offload to her because she's dealing with her own stuff. So it's then like, who do I talk to? And it's who does the supportive person talk to? I've been a very advocate. There's not enough about that. And it weren't really until I come across this space that I've been able to open up quite deep about it, other than when I had counselling sessions. That was about it, because on your day-to-day life, you've still got to be dad. You've still got to be husband. You've still got to be carer. You've still got to hold down a job and be whatever your job role is. So it's like you're keeping it to yourself.
Yeah, we're getting comments in as well, Lee. Like, what's happening, Matt? And again, I apologise, people. I can't see who's commenting, or I can see his favourite user. But after this is finished, I will respond. But please keep commenting, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, it's very. Yeah, I'll put your name in the bracket, please. Yeah, Lee. Like, I watched it. You know, when we logged on just before the live, it was happening behind on the TV, and. Sorry, someone's just put, thank you, I'd like to start again, but my confidence and trust in others is shattered, to be honest. It's caused me so much hurt, and so in turn triggered my anxiety, depression, and rarely go out now. I will reply to you personally and talk to you, but who I can't see again the name. I just want to say, even though you heard me rant at the moment about my community, etc. I can put hands on the heart, tell you this is your safe space. We do not judge here. You can trust us and the guys and ladies behind the scenes. I will message you privately because I think private chats are most important, more one to one. But anything you do need, please write a list down. We can do what we can and try and find you the support you need as well and build your confidence up. So much love to whoever commented on that. But yeah, that Lola thing was really sad, man. Like it happened behind when we were talking before the live and passed away. But I have to say, EastEnders done really well on that because it, like you said, it's showing a building awareness of these things happen in a real life home. And that's why I get so upset, Lee, and passionate about those kind of things because these things are happening on a day to day life. It could be happening in my neighbour's house now, and they might be too scared to seek support because we're too busy arguing and bickering as a community and as a world. It's like just relax. People are dying out there. People are committing suicide. People are depressed. People are scared to talk because of us. Not like me, you, but I mean us as a society, as a group. We just need to tone it down a bit. We need to like put all our heads together, and we can make change. We can make change, and as you know, Lee, regardless, man, on my own or with a team, I'm breaking that. Safe space between us is breaking that stigma, and I got to remind everyone. We've only been going 6 weeks. It feels like we've been going for years, yeah. And what we've achieved, which I have never said I'm proud of myself, but I am bloody proud of my team behind the scenes. I'm proud and inspired by every single guest person seeking support. You are inspiring me more and more, and I am so proud of every single one of you because we have made change already, and I know we have. People might not see it, but we have. And my nan died, it's the same situation at home with Macmillan nurses in and about. And what you say is the hardest, like not a lot of help, especially when they do pass. Yeah, and listen, whoever commented on that, again, we're here. We can find you that help. Unfortunately, there is help out there, but it's not really advertised. It's not really spoken about, and there are great charities and stuff out there that we can all help find. And one of my core missions on my podcast is to dismantle and completely break any stigma around mental illness. We got you, but I've got you. One day we'll be seen for who we are. Much love, man. Much love. But please, anyone, if you have a question or anything please do comment, and we've got 20 minutes before our guest comes on, and we can. And on that note, Lee, take the floor. I forgot to invite her.
Right, yeah. So this is just give me a good opportunity just to let new members know we are now on TikTok. We'll be posting like inspirational messages and stuff like that every day. If you're feeling a bit down or just want a bit of motivation, just jump over to the TikTok. Get onto the fundraising page as well. It's going through till September. It's helping out so many amazing charities and stuff like that. So the page is in the link as well. Also, and keep reaching out to each other, keep reaching out to us. The hardest step of any time you're not feeling too good is to reach out. But just as soon as you reach out to someone, then it will sit there and it will help you. Just as we've just seen a minute ago, someone's reached out now, and later on, Kieran will be replying to help that person out and stuff like that. And Kieran, are you back?
Not yet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, wait, no, I'm not yet. I'm sending an invite to the guest. Sorry.
And also, if there's any like challenges or anything like that you think we could do locally that you want to see online or anything like that, give us a message and we'll have a look into it. We're always up for doing something. Me and Kieran's got a couple of ideas in the pipeline along with the rest of the team. But if there's actually something you want to see us try or something that you want to do that you think we can support you with, let's get that going as well. This mental health, as we said, we're trying to break the stigma, break the silence, but we can do that through fun activities, not just about sitting there and moping about. Because mental health is, as we said, it's health. It's good and bad. So let's celebrate the good and then when we're feeling low, bad, disband together as a community and help each other out.
Lee, keep going, mate. You got this. You got this. You got this.
I told you the other day I don't like lives. I don't even
I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find this lady. Hang on.
I just feel like I'm doing this. So yeah, like we said, any challenges you want to see us do, any questions you want to ask in the group. I know beginning of the week we put up a couple of interactive questions and people responded well to that. So if there's anything you want to set up yourself, then please feel free to. As Kieran keeps saying, the group is our group. It's not just about us posting things. If you've got a little interactive game that you want the other members to take part in, post that up, get sharing, and let's get everyone involved and let's band together as a community and have that community spirit. And are you back?
I'm back.
Yay.
I'm back. Lee, well done. You're amazing. And we're feeling the love in Canada. Thank you. Yeah, hi Canada. And yeah, it's like I love what we do. I love my team. And I say my team is I love Lee, Carrie, Tessa, Omni, our little team. And I have to say to everyone, we apart from me and Tessa working together before, me, Lee, me, Omni, me, Carrie, we have met through this platform, and now we work volunteering, working together. This is how our relationship started, and I love the relationship we have better than any relationship I have had in person.
And I just say a personal thank you to the girls as well, because we do jump on and have a laugh and stuff like this on the podcast, but the amount of work they put in behind the scenes, as you keep saying, I don't think like the group would function properly if the work they put in behind the scenes. And hopefully we can get a time, because everyone's always busy, where we can all get together just to give them the praise as well, because they do put a lot of work and effort in, and a lot of things wouldn't run if it weren't for the bits that you don't see that they're doing. So definitely want to say
hats off. I echo what Lee said, because of you might see a lot of me and Lee on the podcast, me doing challenges and stuff, but there is a lot of work behind the scenes that the girls do for us to be able to do these challenges, for us to get guests on. I don't go reaching out for guests. Lovely Carrie is probably the best PA I've ever had in my life, and Kerry, she's the best. She's not my PA deep pad, well, she kind of is, but she is the best. She puts me in check. They all do. They put me in check. They make me remember myself, about my own self-care. They put me in check on my down days. They're the people I go and talk to, and again, like, much love, and they do a lot of work. Tessa's put hours and weeks and days of blood, sweat and tears of putting a policy together, and everything. Whoever said I love your accent, I love your accent too. Get on here and let me hear your accent. But thank you. Lee's right, the girls are lovely, and I have to say though, I want to say thank you to many other women and men out there, like Matt. Obviously, your mate Matt, and who I met through you. He's been a good supporter of what we do and always checks in when he can with us, and he's got his own personal stuff going on. Again, a lovely lady called Mel, who I have not even met in this community, but she has been a massive, very check myself and just remind me, Kieran, you're doing good, don't let things bother you. And she's been amazing. Nicola, there's many, and if I haven't mentioned her, there's many. I've got a brain like Dory, and I apologise, but mate is for a male, what's for a woman? Mate is for a male, what's for a... Ladies, I say mate, I apologise. Yeah, I say mate. But ladies, you can be my mate as well. That's a good. That's the thing, isn't it? Or isn't it? Or friend.
Pal.
Someone's put laughing. Someone's trying to put me on the spot here. I'll have to see who's commenting. But now listen. I call everyone mate. I'm Plumstead. I just got to say again, like, what we do is for you people, and and anything you need, we want people to be engaging, and we have found the last couple of weeks people have been engaging massively, and the comments we hear that people's stories inspire people to talk and stuff like that. If I owned a jet, I would fly out to every single member and shake your hand and give you a cuddle or give you a hug and do your garden for you. If I had that jet, I would. You know, I would. I would. Yeah, and I apologise that I cannot do that. But the things we can do is open the floor for you to come on and talk. Feel free to video call me anytime, not on a podcast, or if you don't already, do quiz nights, do fun things as well where you can get involved. They're the things we can do at the moment. And obviously, one day I'll hopefully get to meet every member. That is my aim, to not obviously have thousands of members, but so I can get around to say hello to every member out there. And I will. There's people out there where they've already invited me to their country and for a space to stay, and I salute you and I thank you. And some of these are professionals and stuff like that, and I just appreciate that. And we've got missions. We want to break the stigma. We want to help knife crime. Hopefully, someone in my community who deals with who's on a big mission of knife crime, we're going to link up hopefully next week or the week after. I can't remember when we agreed, and kickstart things as well. And again, it's not just for us adults; it's for the children as well. Because if we can't sort our lives out now and sort out the stigma and sort out speaking our truth and speaking our stories, what hope do have the future of the kids have? And that's my worry. Is this world ready for me to be dead tomorrow, for my kids to be comfortable with talking their story? No. And I think there is some amazing people around the world who are doing similar things as what we're doing. And maybe we should all be getting our heads together. There's a lot of competing of charities and of fundraising. Like, why are we competing against each other? Like, there's no competing with me. Like, if you want to come and do a garden with me, come and do a garden with me. Happy days. And to be fair, credit to some great people. I've had some offers, and there is a lovely guy or young lad who's coming on garden trips with me this Saturday, who I've never met apart from over social media, over this platform. But on that note, I just want to say, Lee, what is mental health to you?
Well, to me, mental health is, like we said before, it's the good and the bad, because it's health. Like, you've got your body health, so you've got mental health. So recognise when you're having your good days and accept that, like any health, you're going to have your bad days. And again, like when it comes to people taking medication to support their mental health, they're frowned upon in that. And I don't understand why, because no one gets frowned upon for taking a paracetamol if they've got a headache, or no one gets frowned upon if they take a Coldamol because they've got a broken leg. So if someone needs help and support with their mind, and a tablet's going to help support that, why are we frowning upon that person for taking the tablet? It doesn't mean anything. It's the same as a headache or anything like that. So, like I said, mental health is recognising you're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs, and you've just got to try and look after yourself the best you can, like you try and look after your body.
No, I echo that. And like I say...
So I was going to say, what's it to you? I don't know if anyone's asked.
I do. It's all good. No, go on. What is it to me? See, mental health, I believe, and this is my view, covers nearly everything in our lives. In one way or another, I believe we are just in the queue of suffering with mental health in one way or form. Losing a job can cause depression, it can cause so many things. Losing a loved one causes grief, can cause many other things. Feeling alone can cause anxiety, depression, loneliness, suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. The list can go on and on and on. So I believe mental health is a thing where we should be talking about it on a daily thing in the houses, in the education system. I believe it should be in the curriculum around the world. And that's another mission we're on. And also, again, like I say, those who are ignorant are choosing... Just my laptop's talking to me. That's just I just think we just need, mental health is massive. I think it's a thing we're all going to go through in some way or form. Is how we deal with it, but we can all deal with it in the correct way if we all knew that there is no stigma and judgmental things about it. For me to say I feel suicidal or I feel emotional, I feel like I keep crying every night. Flashbacks of memories of what happened when I was a child, and these are facts. This is not me making the story up. This is facts. What happens to me every night. I'm an owl. I don't sleep. I have my own stuff going on. I still do therapy and stuff like that. But also, this is my therapy of helping others. And I just need people to understand, to have a think, forget Kieran, forget a safe space between us for a second. Just close your eyes and think, what is mental health? Do we do enough about it in society? Do we show support for others? Do we judge people too quickly? Is there too much stigma out there? Are we showing that us adults around the world are good role models for our children? Those children using knife, yes, it's not as wrong for stabbing someone and killing people. I agree, but let's think deep down. Has the system let them down? Possibly 99%. Yes. Do they need support? Yes. Can we stop the knife crime? Yes. How do we do that? By showing people that you can talk about your feelings and talk about how you feel. Hang on, I'm just reading something. I'm going to read this, and I apologise. I'm not going to say the person who's just messaged me. This is on private message. Remind me about the knife crime thing. I know a kid that suffered with mental health and now goes around collecting knives, etc. Council don't want nothing to do with it because they're jokers. I'm in your podcast at the moment. By any chance, this person who messaged me, you know who you are, message me the person's name who's dealing with knife crime, and I can tell you if that's who I've been talking to. But yeah, but let me just see where our guest is. On that note, we'll take a little 5-minute break. Here's a video of what we do. We remember those loved ones, sadly not here anymore. So, guys, we're gonna end that part with me and Lee because our next guest is on all the way out of this country in America. So we're gonna jump straight on and say hello. Hello. What is going on? It's not working. It's working. Hello. You okay?
Hello.
Hello. You
Oh,
right? You put
Yeah.
my name T Super K as your profile. You're gonna be me today.
I didn't know how to do that. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right. Um, I'm glad you come on. And obviously talk about whatever you want, and you're welcome to feel nervous and whatever. Just think it's just two lads sitting here waving at you, smiling. But yeah, so we'll end that part. So yeah, just introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, and then we can crack on.
Okay. My name is Marie Joey. I am 37 years old. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, but I now live in Staten Island. Um, I went to college to become a teacher, but it didn't work out because my financial aid, had maxed out, and the policies in New York are different from Europe. So when you hit a certain age and you max out the minimum amount that they give you have to start paying out of pocket, and I can't do that because I don't work full time. So I had to quit that career and try something else. So I've always been on the run with different careers, and I'm just tired of it now. It's
No,
too
and I get you.
exhausting, and I can't deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, and I get you. And I just want to take my hats off to you because obviously we've only been speaking a couple of times behind the scenes, and this is this lady to me is inspiring for coming on last minute. We weren't planning to do a live today, was we? We were just planning to have a chat, and unfortunately, with the times change, and I said, "What do you fancy coming on a live?" She said, "Yeah, let's do it." And to me, this is what this space is about: is respecting someone's story, hearing the story, and trying to be able to be a friend and supporting them and making sure that they know that there is a good life ahead, even though at the moment it might not. So I wanted to say I'm very proud of you for even coming on here, because obviously we spoke briefly and I understand the stuff you've gone through, and I take my hats off to you. So much respect to you. I apologise, my throat's literally dying. My throat is actually about to drop. So let's just talk back. Like obviously, talking to you privately, we spoke about COVID a lot. You're welcome to go before COVID. But obviously, talking to you, it sounded like COVID was the major impact, which it did a lot of us around the world. To take us back, like when you started your if you want to talk about your upbringing, you can, or if you just start where you want to talk about where things started going wrong for you.
Oh boy, where do I start? I could write a book on our life. I mean, let's see. I was born in Brooklyn. My mother, as you can say, was an alpha male. She worked on the stock exchange. She didn't go to college. She barely made it out of high school. She got a GED. Um, my grandparents came from Italy and Portugal. They grew up during, the Depression, so they had to stretch out whatever money that they had. And now at that time, women didn't work, so it was always the men in the family that took care of the household. And today's generation, they just don't understand that. Like, they can't accept the concept how women and men are different. Like, we're built differently and our emotions are different. Men are nature. And what I mean by nature is they're the ones that built the world. They're the ones that have an impact on lives. Their body is different, their bone texture is different. So when I hear women today saying, oh, I want to do as much as a man does, that kind of annoys me in a way because they have no idea what it's like to be in those shoes. My mother was in that shoes with my grandfather. And this is the reason why me and her are in the situation that we're now in, and I don't understand why this generation thinks it's like a joke to want to do that. Because when you hit my age of 37, excuse my language, you're kind of fucked up now because you're not yet in your 50s and 60s, but you're no longer in your 20s. So you're competing with these girls today that they just lack common sense, and they're so disrespectful. And I think they're worse than the boys are, and they're trying to keep up with the how many people they sleep with, just like a guy does, and they just don't get, that's not normal. And
Well, not all guys do. I don't. I don't keep a tally. I don't do all that. I'm just saying
I
I don't
mean,
do that.
they're just trying to keep up, and it's not. It's wrong. And I grew up differently. Like I said, when I was growing up in Brooklyn, my grandparents came from nothing, and that's the way it was. You ate what you ate.
Mm,
You did not. You did not. You went to bed without no food. There was no, oh, I want to have a steak, or oh, I want to have an Apple phone. You either did what your grandfather, your father told you and your grandfather told you, or you wouldn't be going to school. That was basic. Those were
no,
the rules. Now today, everything is free range. A student can pepper spray a teacher and not be held accountable for it. Last couple of days ago, that's what happened.
wow,
The student pepper sprayed the teacher in the eyes because he took her phone. But the problem with this is it wasn't based on the student and the teacher. Of course, it had to do with the race.
yeah,
It's always about black and white. And honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of this race baiting going on in the United States. It had nothing to do with that. The purpose was when the student is disrespectful, the teacher can no longer reprimand the student anymore because of this factor. And when you don't have that safety net of showing a student who's in charge of a classroom, especially at home also, you lose the job experience, you lose the manners, and everything turns to chaos. I don't do this talking of, oh, let's talk it out, we'll do the 1, 2, 3 counting. No, I'm the mother, I'm the teacher. You do as I say. If you don't like it, then you go to bed without nothing, or I will take the door off your bedroom door. I don't care. Like, I'm sorry, I'm old school.
no,
And
and
why
I,
I don't get
go
along
on.
with some people. I'm brutal, and I'm brutally honest. It's just the way I was raised. I'm trying to work on that, but I can't sit here and lie and say, okay, I'll agree with you when you're right, when you're wrong. No, you're wrong, and you have to be held accountable. You can't just go around pepper spraying somebody in certain situations. That's only useful, God forbid, someone's trying to mug you or someone's trying to harass you. You can't just go up to them and pepper spray them because they took your phone away. The purpose is you're in school to learn. You're not there to be on TikTok or Twitter and curse all the time. It's not normal. And I guess that's the reason why I can no longer work in schools either, because I have a mouth like that and I'm not vaccinated. I was raised differently. And to them, they seem to think that I have the privilege of everything. And I'm like, I don't have a privilege for everything.
Mm,
What are you talking about? I went from living in a brownstone that my grandparents bought when they came from Ellis Island to having my family sell the brownstone, my mother and I having to move within 2 weeks to buy a house to survive. And it's been almost 20 years and we're still not pushing forward because of what's going on with the economy. So what am I privileged about?
no, and I get that.
There's nothing.
And I just wanted to say, just quickly back at schools, like I think there needs to be more teachers like you because, in my view, like Lee here, he's a teacher. He's worked in the system and stuff like in the UK, and I think he'd probably say the same thing. And I'll come to you in a sec, Lee. That I think there should be more teachers like yourself. That you're right. We're there to educate. Why are we doing TikToks in school? Like my daughters love TikTok, but I had to try and bring them up and say, whoa, 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 whoa. There's no TikToking when you're trying to learn or educate, or when we've asked you to do hoovering up indoors, or we've asked you to clean your bedroom and stuff like that. TikTok thrown away, and I respect that, and I don't know why you have been made to feel you can't say how it is, especially when it's there to actually benefit the children, because the children later in life will then actually have a bit more respect and understanding of life, of how the real life is of upbringing, because it's not all about of the getting this and getting that, which some people have. Some people don't have, like you say, have the privileges of getting everything they want. So from me, I have to say, carry on doing what you would do as a teacher, because I'll make you right. And people are commenting now as well, saying they make you right. Kids have not enough respect. Kids don't have anymore. Lee, just quickly before we carry on, what's your view from a UK teacher?
I agree. I think a lot of young people feel entitled now, and as Marie was saying, phones in the classroom is the biggest problem when it comes to behaviour, because you ask for the phone and the kid tells you no, and it's like they know you can't do nothing. You can't physically go and remove it from them because they know you're not meant to put your hands on them. If they tell you no, you're not going to pass it over, they know that you haven't got a next step. You can't ask in the morning for them to hand in their phones as soon as they get into the school environment, because again, it's a refusal. It's a no, you're not having my phone because it's mine. And it's a real battle, especially phones are one of the biggest battles in the classroom. And then, as Marie said, as soon as you come up with the opinion of saying to the young person, right, this is how it's going to be, you get everything thrown back at you and you get a load of verbal, or as you've just said, sometimes you can get physical altercations because the young person, in a way, knows their rights more. Like, I don't know about you, Kieran, over here in the UK, when you went to school when you was younger, we feared our teachers a little bit because we didn't know which way they were going to go. A lot of my teachers didn't do anything, but we didn't know that because it was very unknown.
When I was younger, I was scared, even though I was naughty at times at school, but I was scared. I knew when not to cross the line, because they're not never going to hit me or anything. But it was just that the teachers had respect then. But again, the system here,
there's no lies.
The system
now.
Here, the system here though, lets down the teachers of that power of putting her foot down a bit because of we are all about, I don't know, we can't even say boo to the kids anymore without getting in trouble. So again, I just want to echo, I'm with you on what you're saying. Whoever done that pepper spraying, what the hell? Over trying to get a phone, taking a phone.
Media. You're not going to miss it. It's all over social media. It went spiral, and the students are just standing there laughing like it's a joke. And it wasn't even funny. It kind of pissed me off because, again, it's race baiting. Nobody understands that when you race bait, you're making the world more, going opposite ways than where we came along. I did so many history reports on Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman. I go off of facts. I go off of science. I go off of history. And when I see these kids like doing this, it makes me very mad because they have no idea what they're talking about. My mother grew up during that time. My mother grew up with different nationalities not wanting to be next to each other because it was known. You stayed on your side, they stayed on this side. There was no, let's talk it out. No, it was just the way it was. But people still respected one another. Now, if you do that, you're just an easy target to get punched in the face or get put in the hospital and you can't do nothing. I don't understand why someone wants to go back to that time where it was just one-sided. You can't do that. And when I hear people say, Biden's the best president stuff, he's the most racist person there is. This is a man that was citing quotes from Robert Byrd, which was the Ku Klux Klan, which kids today don't understand this, at a college. He was honored enough to go to a black college to make a speech, and instead of making a speech about these graduates, he's making a dumb speech from a quotation of Robert Byrd. What the hell is wrong with you? You're in someone else's domain. You should be honored enough that they asked you to present their college, and you make everyone look like a fool. Nobody should go back to this race baiting crap anymore like it was in the old days. It wasn't safe back then. My mother didn't raise me like that. And I don't like it when I see things going on, but I can't say nothing because I'm considered the weirdo now. My mother's not even Caucasian. My mother's caramel. So if you saw my mother, you wouldn't even think she's my mom. We're two completely different people. She took on the Portuguese side. I took on the Italian side. So I've seen things over the years, and these generations have no clue what they're talking about. And when I hear these young girls say, "Oh, I'm sexually frustrated," or I want to do what this guy is doing. I'm like, you have no clue what you're talking about. What you need to do is go to school and be quiet. You need to show people respect. Stop with this garbage. Oh, you need to wear a mask, but yet you're walking around with your ass hanging out, and then you're complaining that the male teacher's looking at you. You're getting yourself into a situation that you can't get out of. And I'm sorry, I cannot sit there and say, oh, you know, I respect you for that. No, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation that you would not know how to fight off a guy because they just don't have common sense, or they choose not to go to classes and exercise their brain to be smarter. Everything now is a stupid TikTok. They want that instant answer right there. That's not the way the world works. If you're a good person, regardless of your skin color or nationality, you're going to get far in life. It doesn't matter what your background is. You should be you. Everyone is different, and that's why it's called the melting pot. There's different nationalities. Nobody should be the same. And I don't think it's they should be like, oh, my name is so and so, and I'm this complexion. No, what's your nationality? Is your family from Italy? Is your family from Kenya? Is your family from Haiti? Explain your background. Make it, like someone wants to learn about it the way I was raised.
Yeah,
But jobs today, they don't see that in person. They just see money and race. It's the stupidest thing I ever seen in my life. And now with these
that's what I was
phones
going to
now,
say. I was going to
it's
say, you see,
ridiculous.
it's just the ticking exercise because you know when you go for a job and you say what nationality are you, etc. All of that is basically to make that company to look good, of making sure they're employing the correct colour at the time and stuff like that. Where for me, you just get the job if you're good enough. For me, it should be. And as you say, regardless of skin colour, etc. We're all human beings. We all should be treating each other the same. I don't care. On this screen now, for example, we've got four different nationalities, um, and there's three of us, but we've probably got more in our own blood down the line, etc. So it shouldn't matter about nationality, and we're having a civil conversation. Right. And a lot of the tick box exercise makes me sick because I'm thinking, why do you need to know if I'm brown or what nationality I class myself? Why does it matter? Well, it doesn't matter because a lot of
Because
the jobs,
whatever
even
color you are, sorry, whatever
mm,
color you are,
no, go on.
that's how much percentage you'll be in life. It's the most stupidest thing I have ever seen in my life. And this is the reason
Yeah,
why I deactivated TikTok, and I wish that they would ban it, because how can you base someone on a percentage?
mm. Like with TikTok, it makes me sick. Like I do a lot of TikTok. I'm gonna be honest, and you might not like this. I do a lot of dancing TikTok, stupid daddy dancing, but I do not like my daughters do dancing, for example, and I know what men are like that out there. That there is a lot of nonsense out there. Fact, yeah. I do not like how my daughters mess about sometimes with what they see on YouTube and TikTok. But it's down to me as a parent also to make sure I educate them of making sure they're aware of the awareness of outside in the street, at schools and stuff like that, and what is acceptable. Because you're right, if you're going to hang out your butt and show it off, um, then in my view as well, yes, every man and woman has the right to look how they want and feel how they want. But let's make it right. 2023 is probably the worst this world has ever been in on abuse, racism, or claiming, playing a race card, racism, uh, bullying, sexual harassment, nonsense, paedophilia, and stuff like that. It's down to us as parents as well to say, educate our children. We can't always rely on the schools because the schools' hands are tied at times. So I just think we as parents, well, I'm a parent, it's down to me as well to like say, like, yeah, TikTok, you can have that bit of fun, but that's wrong. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean you're doing that, mate. Like, and that's what I try and educate my daughters. If they grow up different, then maybe I've brought them up. But again, I echo with you. I would prefer TikTok banned because it would save a lot of the wrong in what is wrong with TikTok. There's more wrong with TikTok than the good. But on that note, with COVID, I know COVID come, yeah, and obviously talking to you affected many of us. And you mentioned that you didn't have the jab. And I know talking to you the other day or last night was that you got singled out quite a lot not having that
Oh
jab.
yeah.
Just talk to us what happened and talk to us how that felt, how it made you feel.
Well, it plays
You,
into politics.
mm,
This is the situation. People vote. See, other countries don't realize this. In the United States, we're no longer free. Just because the United States says, "Oh, you could vote for this guy," that's a Republican or a Democrat, they're full of garbage because what they do is they base you on, again, it's on your color. It's never a time when there's nothing about color. Their point is, this is what the Democrats of the United States, they want more of the black votes because they got this idea in their head after they came out with the women's right movement and the food stamps for women in general, that the Democrats, they have a mission to break up a family, and their sickness is always about the black community. And the more that the family's broken up, the more that they'll give women money to be single parents. It's the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life, and nobody reads this kind of thing that's going on. And this is the reason why I'm no longer a Democrat, because I don't support things like that. Why would you want to keep a person down and then keep saying it's because of their skin color? You're supposed to bring people up. You're supposed to save this economy. But when you keep getting in your ear from someone else, "Oh, you can't do nothing because you look different, but it's okay, we'll save you as long as you're not married and you could have like 12 kids. We'll give you money." That's the stupidest thing that you can do to a person. You're not building them up, you're actually building them down.
yeah,
And you're making them feel worse than what they are. And I don't understand how some people in the United States are okay voting for Democrats like this. Don't you want to make money? Don't you want to raise the family that you should be raising them, to teach them values, to teach them traditions, to teach them manners? You shouldn't be voting just be, like Democrat because they're like telling you to, and they'll give you money for it. That's stupid. I mean, people make their own choices, and that's fine. That's why supposedly America's the freedom's, country. They have a right to free speech. They have a right to free voting, but it's a lie because the Democrats always base it on that. There's there's more Democrats now than there is Republicans, and it's a very bad time now because nobody likes Trump. And the reason why people don't like Trump is because he's brutally honest, like I am. And when you shake people up like that, they don't know what to do. They go into, instead of flight mode, they're going into that fight mode where they want you to be constantly wrong and not face the change and not face your
I'm
own
with you
issue.
with that. With you.
You
That
know,
I'm with you. I'm with you and Trump. I'm the version of you and Trump in the UK.
yeah.
Trust me.
Stop
I
playing
applaud.
victim. Like, why do you want to stop playing victim? Why do you still want to vote for a man that makes you look like a victim? If you do good in this world, you're gonna be good. Why do you
Yeah,
want to stay down just because you have someone telling you you're gonna get freaking free money when that's another lie? You only have a certain amount of months to a year to have food stamps, to have the shelter that they're going to supply you with, the clothes that they'll give you for your kids. This is the government. This is not my doing. The way the taxes are, whatever taxes are going into the government, that's what these women are getting paid for and given. So they may think they're coming out with a lot of money. Those are someone else's tax money. And it's like a revolving door that it just doesn't stop. And this is the
mm,
reason why I got fired, because the vaccine plays into the role of everything that's going on. The more people that got vaccinated, the more money they made, and the more that they would tell these women, "Oh, don't get married, don't have the father in the picture. We'll give you free classes, we'll give you free clothes, we'll give you the money that you need. But don't marry the man because you don't need a man in your life. You don't need that man to raise your kids. We'll raise the kids for you."
Is that what the kind of message was going on out there? Was that literally the message they were trying to put? Because obviously I talked to you last night, and I do watch and read a lot of American stuff because I find it a lot of interesting. And obviously to me, there's three different sides. You're in the middle, you're on the right, you're on the left, or whatever. But at the moment, I'm with you what you say, and I have read a lot of things of that they encourage the women. Don't go back to the husband. We give you free money, but that's not to try and protect the women. That's actually trying to cause a lot more of negative environment, country vibe for the benefit of the government.
That's what they're doing, and nobody believes me. And you can't talk about this at work. You could, like, the things I'm saying now, I probably would have got written up, and I probably would have had HR on my ass in a heartbeat.
That's the problem, though, and this is the problem. I'm with you. I've had HR on my arse in this country because of my. And listen, I agree because some people say there's a time and place with your opinions. I agree, and I've been very opinionated. But when you're trying, like yourself, you're trying to refresh people. Come on, we shouldn't be pepper spraying. It's common knowledge, basically. We shouldn't be pepper spraying teachers unless you're running for your life or you're about to get attacked or whatever. And you're right, in the education system, like, there's no power anymore, there's no respect. And then you talk about Biden, people can not even have to listen to your view. Obviously, talking to you last night, it made my head busy. I'd done a lot of research, and everything you kind of said was kind of come true. Like, I thought, oh, it's true. Not that I didn't believe you, but I like to just research things as well. And it's like, people like yourself is try and actually make the world a better place and try and talk about it. And for me, never change. Do not never change of being who you are. There's nothing you're doing wrong. You're actually trying to make the world a better place and to make people aware of what is actually going on. The problem is what you said a couple of minutes back, is people can't handle it. People can't handle the truth. It happens here, it happens there, it happens everywhere. People can't handle the truth. People rather hide behind the screens and say, no. I don't want to be involved in that. Even though they probably believe and want us to carry on making change, but they can't handle the truth. So never change with your views and opinions. And
it's
trust me.
That as well, governments get us in such a situation that when they're then coming on giving out free cash, people are going to jump on that because we're in such a poor situation that you need money to get us. It's a way of controlling people because then you control people to then keep them where you want them. So then you're staying in power. So it's just all manipulation, and it's just running. Like you said, you need people like you speaking out to educate people to say, look, this is actually what's going on, and this is why it's happening. So yeah.
Have you thought about being like a public speaker, because I think you'd be amazing. If I'm honest, I think you'd be amazing.
They wouldn't accept me because I'm the next Trump, and they don't like that.
No, but what about like a public speaker online, like this platform, and like jumping on here every week to say, I don't care, you can come on here, to say your views and getting the message out there, because eventually people will hear and people will listen. It just takes time, and it's just we got to just put our foot down and say, I'm just going to carry on doing this. I'm doing good. I'm trying to make the world a better place, and regardless if we liked or not. And I know it's hard when people don't like you. I today went through a situation where I felt like I was the bad person. I felt like, where's the point? I felt low as hell this morning because of my community. But then I've realised certain people picked me up and said, you know what? Go and kick ass, man. Do what you're doing and kick ass. And that's my message to you. Go and kick everyone's ass and carry on with your message. I'm with you.
I just don't get it. I honestly don't get how people think this is normal. Like with this new thing now, you got to tell a person that they're people of color. What the hell is that? People of color. Why do you have to
Doesn't
say
matter.
that? I think that's the most condescending thing to say, and this generation thinks that's normal.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's a person.
Exactly.
How can you outright say people of color and they accept that?
So someone's just put Someone's just put on the comments that the media have made around the world and that people are being brainwashed. That's what people. So people with you are commenting that they agree with you.
It is so stupid, and they just think it's like normal. Listen, I'm not even black, and I got pissed off hearing that.
I'm with you. I'll get pissed off hearing it myself.
What the hell is that? People of color or minor attraction person? People
Exactly.
that person has a name. You can't just randomly
Someone's
go up to someone and say that. But if I
someone's
say
just
that
put
I
the same
would,
thing.
I would get fired. So it's
Yeah,
like you got to respect what a person says when they want to be called that. Yet you're contradicting yourself because that's wrong to say.
and this is what I'm saying. You're right. It doesn't matter. Like I said again, it doesn't matter what skin color I am, what skin color you, where you're from, or where Lee's from. We've not all we've discussed about where it, where you're from is when we introduced you at the start, and that was, hey, I live in America. I didn't ask what country you're from. I didn't ask what nationality you are. You didn't ask me. I've never asked Lee, to be fair, if he's British or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll just take people as face value. And for me, if you need help, if you need support, if you, I'm with you. And it doesn't matter. I'm with you. Because what we're showing the next generation, the generation after that, you're going to see the blacks, the browns, the blacks on the right, blacks on their own in the middle, the whites down there on the left, the Eastern Europeans on the left down there, the Africans down there in the centre on their own. Everyone's segregated because of how the media, the government, and us, I blame society as well, because we accept it. Why are we accepting this shit?
And the other thing is, like, with COVID now, it's actually brought out more ignorant people. They think everyone
Mm-hmm.
thinks they're tough now. Everyone thinks that they're gangster, which, another thing, you're not a gangster. You're a little weasel prick that has no respect. You wouldn't last 1 hour in a prison with a bunch of guys that are 6 feet and more. And to be honest, they got this thing that women my height can do the same thing as a man can do. No. How can you, that's my height, going to take down a man that's in prison that's 6'5"?
Can I just
That there's
pause you?
different levels to
Can I just
prison,
pause you there? Someone just said they really like this lady. Like you, they really like you. Someone's just commented and said, I really like this lady. So you're not alone.
Thank you. Because they give a lie out about things, and they say that you can do the same thing a guy can do. No, you cannot. If a man is in prison at 6'5", and you got this swarmy little prick kid thinking that they're going to talk to you like you're nothing, because they think they're in a gang, of course you're going to get your face knocked out. And being a correction officer is not an easy job. So when you're in a relationship as well, the man shouldn't have to come home and listen to you blabber about how much you spent in the mall. Men have
Yeah, I don't
feelings
know.
also.
I don't know how much he spent anymore. It made me sick. It made me sick.
Like, come on. I mean, it's not normal. Like, sometimes people need that 5 seconds to rest. Like, you don't want to be bombarded with things the moment the person walks into the door. Now you got a little shit kid telling you, "Oh, I'm gonna punch you in the face and I'm gangster."
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I saw gangs in Brooklyn when I lived there. We had the Latin Kings, we had the Bloods, we had the Crips. But now it's worse. Those gangs that were around when I was younger didn't do half the shit that's going on now, which is completely dangerous. So when I hear these kids saying, "Oh, I'm just as tough as them and I could get away with it," no, you're not. You have no clue what it is to grow up on the streets. You have no clue what it is to be in and out of prison. You have no clue what it is to be for mistaken identity on both sides. Do you know how many people are in prison now that are in prison because someone said that that's the person and there really wasn't the person, regardless if they're black, white, caramel, or yellow? They
Probably
keep
a
the
lot.
person in prison for money. this is all government stuff. This is all COVID bullshit. The more people they have in prison, the more they control the situation. And the more that they control the situation and they fund the police, the prison's going to have their own riots and take over everything.
Yeah.
These men that are in prison are in prison for different reasons, but they're trying to get their life together. And I used to be very stubborn like that. I used to say, oh my God, these bastards, they deserve to, go to hell for what they're doing. But I see it differently now because, I know someone that's in the healthcare field now. He's trying to give boys the chance to learn how to be men. And he has his own story. I mean, he's not here to talk about it, but he told the story. He made mistakes. And, him and I talk once in a while, but people make mistakes. And when Trump was president, he was trying to give these men and these women in prison a chance to get on their feet. But when you have this generation of kids now from 10 years old to 13 years old talking about like they're gangster and, they got more family members doing this and that and they could get away with stealing, you're putting yourself in a situation that you have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I agree.
You have no responsibility. You what do? You come home, you do your work, and you go to bed. That's your job as a child. What my father and my mother said, you had no business listening. They put themselves in a situation where they want to act like an adult when you have no business acting like an adult.
And I agree. I agree with you.
To get vaccinated. You're 10 years old. Sit down, shut up, do your work, and mind your business. I work with kids with special needs. I've seen what the masks do. Don't tell me what I need to do in my job. I'm sorry.
Well, like you say, you work with disability children, and I know for a fact having a mask on certain children, and not even with a disability, even me wearing a mask, I am claustrophobic. It wasn't a nice thing. It is proven fact that it doesn't save lives. This is not my view. This is fact. And anyone living in cuckoo land thinking it does, yeah, come and talk. I'll support you. I'll give you support. But I just wanted to say regarding like the people think gangster, and Lee knows this, and I've not spoken about this, and I'm not going to say where it happened. Yesterday, before I spoke to you, and I didn't even talk to you, I had a samurai sword, kebab knife put to my throat yesterday. This is not a joke. Lee was the first person I spoke to, and these my colleagues who do the volunteering, I was in gobsmacked, and you laugh what it was over about. It was over basically a kebab. It was over a kebab, and I had a knife put through. I thought he was going to stab me. I'm laughing about it, but he's just like, and I rang these guys straight away, and I just think society's fucked up, man. It's okay for you to draw a fucking knife, and the things I was getting called at the same time, and I thought, why have you just brought race and nationality and colour like into it? Like, Jesus Christ, man! Like, who educated you? So I just wanted to add that because you're talking about gangsters, and this guy thought he was a gangster the way he was talking, and he actually nearly pulled his pants down and told me to suck it, and I thought, what the hell is going on here? Which. Yeah, I'll end that. I don't want to go into detail of that because that could be a big thing leading up to police stuff. But yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. I was just wanting to jump on the gangster thing because there's people still it's not just in America. People using knives and stuff. Like the kids need support in what is bad and what is wrong. But I do believe it comes from households as well. You've got people like yourself, how you've been brought up, and bringing it and telling the society and around the world, this is what it should be about, and this is what we should be doing, not turning a blind eye. A lot of us turn blind eyes and allow to accept many of this madness stuff. But sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's all true. Like when I was growing up, they used to have a boys' club for bad homings for boys that came from bad backgrounds, and they always had an older male to guide them to do the right thing. Now you can't find it anywhere. These boys don't have a good male figure anymore because their masculine side is being taken away. Because you
Yeah,
have these liberals telling these women, oh, you could get the masculine side and you could teach your son how to be a man. No, you can't. You could guide him to be a man. You could show him the way, but you're not equipped like that. They're gonna need a male figure to tell them what it's like to go through those hormone stages, what it's like to have that pressure of feeling like the world is on your shoulder. You know,
yeah,
the same way a father can't relate to his daughter. She's gonna need that female figure to explain to her what's going on. But they don't have that support group anymore because nobody wants to put in the funding to give these kids an adult sponsor to show them respect, to show them responsibility, to give them common sense, to lead them into the right direction. They rather show them the gangster way, the drug way, the violent way.
and you're
And
right, and you're right. It
it's
happens
sad.
here. It's happening here. You get kids doing running. Lee, you might correct me if I'm wrong. Do you see kids like kids are becoming runners for drug dealers and stuff like that? I see it.
It's called county lines over here, and it's one of the biggest things we train about with safeguarding now. Every time we do our safeguarding update, county lines is the big thing that's coming across this country with the young people being used as drug runners.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah,
Like it's even happening here. And
No, I'm sorry.
no, go on. All my guests, go
No,
on.
what I was going to say was I really think that they should bring back boot camp for these kids. I think when you hit a certain age, it should be mandatory. If you're a girl or a boy, you should be put in the military. You should be put in the military, and you should be taught what responsibility is, and have that challenge for them to break you down and bring you up and see how you're going to last. Because that's going to determine your character when you get older.
Yeah, because
They should see.
unfortunately, I know we all advocate for teachers and we support teachers, like, and I know you both have. And the problem I have in the education system here in the UK, especially, is I always looked at school if building those life skills, building me for the next step of the future, etc., etc. This day and age, the schools are a bit scared to even say boo to anyone. The schools here in the UK now are all about dollars, yeah, all about money, pounds, because of each kid is worth a certain amount of money, etc. And they don't really give a shit that. I'm sorry, Lee. I know you're a teacher, and someone's just put it's all about numbers at the moment. It doesn't matter what help each individual child actually needs and what life skills are needed to do it. It's just you're a number and you're a figure, and that's down to government across the world of allowing that to happen, doing that. So I don't blame teachers, especially. I blame those running those decisions.
it's like I said the other day when we was talking on the other podcast. You're now getting CEOs of schools are business people. So it's just as whoever just wrote that comment, it is just about numbers in the UK, the school system. It's not about actual education.
It's sad.
So,
It's really sad. It's really sad to see that. But yeah, so let's obviously COVID was a bitch, and still now I think it's affecting many of us still, many children, um, and it's just really a bit scary to be honest that we're still suffering. I think we're suffering more than we actually did during COVID, during lockdown and stuff, because people are still struggling to deal with society and stuff like that, and how to cope out there. How much has it affected you? Like, obviously, you just say how much what you want, but how much has it COVID personally affected you?
A lot. A lot. I have bad anxiety. I see things a lot differently. Um, Dating is like hell out there. You know, it's like a revolving door. People just don't know how to talk anymore when they're out. They ask the most stupidest questions and they expect that answer right back. like as we were saying last night, what these men want, I can't give them. I'm not an alpha female. I'll never be a modern woman. I'm not going to be the type to wear a suit and high heels because some men today like that.
Yeah.
I'm a casual female. I want to stay home. I want to work from home. I want to come and go as I please. And I don't want to compete. You know, they just don't get that. And everything is online now. And it's so easy to find out, what people's character really is because they're 24 hours, 7 days a week posting things on social media and they don't realize when you do that, it's out there. And you're putting yourself in a situation where you don't know what this person's like. So you can tell them one thing, they find out another thing, now you're screwed because they know that you basically lied to them to their face.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay,
So
I
that's
totally
why,
get that.
I don't know.
But
It,
going forward now, like obviously we spoke before, and we're not going to talk about names and stuff like that. Obviously, we've had a private conversation, and that will always stay uh, between me and you. Um, how is it now? Obviously, you're still affected. What is your? How are you coping with your anxiety and stuff? What kind of self care do you do for yourself?
to be honest, I go for walks, but when I'm like really stressed out, I binge eat. I got into this thing where I binge eat at night. And it's starting to affect my stomach. It's making me break out. It's making me very tired. I just don't have like the energy to do anything at certain times because of the binge eating. Before I was like always on the go, you know, always up for challenging. I'm a very determined person, but when COVID hit and I couldn't get a job for those 3 years, and I was living off whatever money I had saved, it really took a toll on me. And especially now that I'm in debt, finances are a huge issue with relationships and marriages. So, when I go on dates and these men ask me about my background, my finances and stuff, I really don't want them knowing that because it's easy for them to say, oh, I'll help you pay it off. But he's going to want something in the end. There's no, free handouts. Everyone is out for themselves. So I'm not falling for that. And it's not really his responsibility to get me out of a situation that, you know, I'm in. It's my responsibility to get myself out of that hole. So I really
Uh,
don't like talking finances when I'm out with someone. I'm trying to get to know you. I don't want to know about that. I've been single for 7 years now. It's kind of getting old. Yeah, I mean, it's getting old.
and like I said to you yesterday, like there is someone out there for all of us. Trust me, and I know it's hard to believe that. Yeah, especially many people think, no, what's the point? But there is, like, I think, and I'll come to Lee in a minute. And you've had comments on here to say what an inspiring person you are. There's not been one negative comment at all from what you've discussed at the moment. So it just shows that you are inspiring people, and you should be bloody proud of what you say and what you do. If people can't take us who we are, then I say fuck them and fuck off. That's what I would say. It's because you should be proud. For me, you have said nothing wrong. You have said fucking truth, and basically, it's the truth that people don't want to know, unfortunately. And there will be someone out there when Biden's gone and people start to open eyes and stuff like that in America where you are, people will realise and not will divert into thinking like you're thinking. But just don't give up what you're saying.
These women in America, I'm sorry, women in America, they're in trouble. They did this to themselves, and they're going to be the cause of situations of not building families anymore. The
Yeah,
decline of having children is really bad now, really bad. And to make economy better and to build a foundation and pass on your tradition, you need a man to have a child with. So if you keep bashing one another, you're going to not have kids anymore, and that percentage rate is going to drop even more. So By not having kids, you have no economy. By not having no economy, you have no traditions. You have no responsibility. So you got both sides going against one another that don't want to be with each other anymore and still complaining. We're
Yeah.
designed to procreate, we're designed to be opposites. Men are alpha, that's in their nature. They're the protectors of someone. Our ancestors grew up hunting for food. Our ancestors grew up to survive. They didn't grow up to just eat vegetables and complain on Twitter that they can't get their soy latte. I mean, you'd rather spend,
Oh,
I'm sorry,
it's true. It's true.
you'd rather spend $10 on a soy latte, which is disgusting and has
Oh,
all these chemicals, rather than go home to someone that's going to make you a good meal and have a baby with,
yeah.
where you can create your own traditions, your own family values, pass down your beliefs to them. But they don't see it that way. Everything now is, oh, I want this, I want that. I don't want to have children, or I don't want to have animals. I can't stand being around you. So they're doing it to themselves. And like I said last night, I don't fit in with those kind of people. That's not my personality. And I think I was probably born in the wrong era, because I see things differently. And we're headed for a big problem if things like this continue.
And
Marriages are decreasing.
can we just quickly talk about, like, because I talk about it a lot when I can, because it's all over news and stuff, and I just think it's wrong. Obviously, I think mental health should be, in general, educated in schools. But in America, as a lot know, that is not the case. We're discussing transgender and telling boys it's okay to wear clothes and stuff. I just want to say, before we continue that conversation, I don't really care what people want to do with their bodies when they're adults. When they're adults, you make that choice. You believe what you want to believe. Why are we pushing for kids to make that decision so early? Why are we pushing for kids to basically question who they are? We're basically putting it in the kids' head. Have a sex change if you want at 12, at 10, at 9, at 8, at 7, at 6. That's how young these kids are getting educated. And I've told any teacher or government ever wanted to have those conversations with my children. That's my job as a father, to have that conversation with my children when the time's right, when they are not children anymore. Let these children around the world be children and educate them in the correct things of becoming great human beings and dealing with life properly, not of it's okay to if you have a willy or pussy or whatever. Sorry, it is. I don't really care if you choose what to have when you're older, but let's not brainwash our children. But yeah, I know you're quite passionate with certain things as well. Oh, sorry, dying. Uh, how are you coping listening with all that around you? Because I know it's strong to you, and also happening very often in America. How are you coping? Like, say what you want.
It's embarrassing. I'm not sure if anybody watched the documentary by Matt Walsh, What is a Woman?
Yeah.
You ask the generation today what a woman is or what a man is. They get like so flustered in their face, like they can't describe the definition of what that gender is. It is the most pathetic thing I have seen and heard. Everything now is, oh, it's whatever you want to identify as. No. There's you got biology, you got history. What are you talking about? We got different
Exactly.
organs. What are you talking about? He had to go all the way to Africa to ask this African governor that lived in I think it was a teepee. They didn't have the house, so they lived like not in the woods, but they were surrounded by like sand and stuff. I forgot what it's called, with the camels. So it was a small community, and he asked the man that, what is a woman, and he told Matt Walsh what a woman is. And when he had asked Matt Walsh, what's this transgender, and like Matt Walsh was explaining it, he looked at him like we were crazy. And he laughed. He actually laughed when he found out what the hell's going on in the United States. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, exactly, and it is because I've seen it before. We had that conversation yesterday. I've seen it and I read it, and I'm not interested. I don't mean I'm interested in it. I'm interested of how far this is going to go, and if they're going to allow this happen in here. Because I tell any school teacher, you bring that to my children, hey, hey. Again, it's me as a parent to have those conversations with my children. Yeah, it's me to be able to tell my son or daughter, if you do feel different in yourself, then talk to me as your dad. You don't need to be educated of it's okay if you want to have a willy. But why are we telling these kids at such a young age, man? We should be telling our children how do English and maths, how to not be bullied, how to not. Why are you picking up guns and knives? That's the things. It's okay to talk about your feelings. Yeah, it's okay to feel lonely, but talk about it. Why are we trying to brainwash these children? And I hope America sorts that out quick time because that needs to stop. In my view, I have no. Go on, Lee.
It plants the seed because if you're then telling a child to question themselves, they're going to start questioning themselves. So you're putting that thought into their head to start with. So again, like you said, yeah, adult life, when you've got your education and you're more aware of the situation, then do what you want. But we're telling the children to question themselves, so they don't know what to answer because they haven't worked it out themselves yet. So why are we encouraging that? It just doesn't make sense.
I find it weird. Like, again, I know people. We've had guests on here who are gay, lesbian, bisexual and stuff. I have nothing against it. That's my view. I have nothing against it. We have every right to feel how we feel and do what we want to do with us. If I want to be a house husband, if I want to be a workaholic, if I want to help people, that's my choice. If I want to have a willy or not, that's my choice. But why are we trying to brainwash our children in this conversation? It is wrong. It needs to stop around the world. And it shouldn't be encouraged. There's bigger and better things that we need to be educating our children than that. And that's my view on that. But I just want to say, because obviously time's running out, I will continue to communicate, and you're welcome back on it anytime. Like I just have to say, I had to jump in and stop a kid about a little bit. We got comments from people saying, agreeing with everything you said. I like this woman. Same with the COVID jab. People are being brainwashed. Yet it shouldn't matter naturally. Someone just said you could key. The worst thing they did was take the power away from parents to discipline their own children. The media is the worst for starting race wars. There are boundaries at school back in the day. I'll make you right. There's no respects from kids anymore. So everyone, not one person has disagreed with you. And I have to say, you're very inspiring, and I'm going to be messaging you every day to make sure you carry on being you, because you should not feel lonely. You shouldn't feel you are an amazing person, and what your voice can do. And I know it's frustrating and it's hard to keep on that voice because people are judging. People don't like you. People don't like me. And it's just carry on being you. Trust me, I'm a massive advocate in supporting that. And Lee, I can see Lee shaking his head. He's with us. And I promise you as well, as yesterday, obviously not every night I need to sleep. But seriously, anytime you need to chat, yeah, and then to rant, I've said this to everyone on these podcasts, call me, rant away. If it helps you feel better, rant away. But also, I'm happy continuing chatting every day with yourself, because I echo a lot of things. And again, you're very inspiring. Lee, what's your message to Marie?
Yeah, please don't change. Like you said, you're very blunt in that, and people need to hear that sometimes. But don't let others around you or whatever political system you're involved in suppress you. Keep being you, please, because you've been very to the point, and people need to hear it sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what scares people. They don't like honesty like that.
No, but don't say
Everything
what
to them
if
is a
they
joke.
think. Just keep being honest.
Just be you. You got this. You got this. And trust me, anything I can support in any way from here, I will. Anything, I would love for you to come on regularly and talk about your views. Um, the door's always open here. Um, Anytime you want to come on, and I hope you feel more comfortable being on here now as a live. I hope you feel a bit. I
Yeah.
don't know. How do you feel?
This is me 24/7. I haven't changed. This is me all the time.
That's good, and that's what I say. Like, um, I just think you're a great person, and you're inspiring, and I believe someone listening to this will just build the courage to talk what they feel because of you. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on. But listen, welcome anytime. Seriously, and I mean that anytime. Just message me, and we get it sorted, and we work around you as well. But as you can see, my voice is literally about to drop any second, and it's doing my head in. So from me, I want to say thank you so much. And listen, I will keep in contact with you. Lee, last thing do you want to say?
No, just thank you for coming on and sharing and being inspiring and being honest. Honesty is the best policy, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll leave the last word to you. Is there anything you want to say to people out here, out there? Anything you want? The floor's yours.
I just want this new generation to know, like, you're taking away everything that your ancestors fought for. You're taking away everything of what a woman actually is. You know, the women's right movement, it's not a joke. By you just standing there and allowing all, like, this to go on, and you're okaying it because you got it in your head that what they're saying, that you don't need someone in your life who's a male figure, that's a lie. You need the man to balance you. You know, you have to think of yourself like a balance scale. If you're taking on the male role, he's going to take on the feminine role. And of course, it's not going to work. Or the both of you are going to have that masculine role, and you don't want that. You do not want to have both roles like that going at the same time. We're women, we're supposed to embrace our womanhood. We shouldn't have to have a masculine side and then have this guy having the same thing and we're constantly fighting. It's not healthy, and it's actually not good for your heart either. You know, people don't realize that when you're alone, it makes your health even worse. And that's the reason why you're going to get high blood pressure. You're going to always feel tired. You're going to be groggy all the time, and you're going to be angry all the time because you don't have someone there to make you feel good, and you don't have someone there to build you up. You need that person to build one another up. You can't bring each other down. So just go out there and see this. Like, kind of wake up and put yourself out there to make friends with somebody or change someone's life. Don't make these kids think that this is normal, and it's not. You know, sometimes you have to say no to things. Not everybody's a winner. You know, nobody's perfect. To win in life, you got to fight through things a lot. And just by getting something easily, that's not building your character. That's just basically saying, okay, I'm just going to be stagnant, but yet I'm going to get an award for trying my best. No, do your best and work hard to get somewhere.
And I agree with everything you said there. And I will say, you said that so nice. Last night we were having a nice conversation, and I don't think we both would have said it as nice as that last night. We were very angry and passionate in what we were discussing last night, but that was very professional. So thank you. And someone's just commented and said thank you with 2 love hearts to you. So whoever that is, thank you. And I'm sure Marie appreciates that. But on that note,
Yeah.
I'm going to end the broadcast there. But again, Marie, please keep in contact. I'll give you a message before I go to bed tonight. I'll give you a message just to say thank you again. But seriously, thank you so much, and you're welcome anytime. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But if I don't message you, I will message you tonight. But if there's a day you feel, just people not listening, come and rant to me. Trust me, it's fine. We can rant together. I need a ranting partner, so it's fine.
Okay.
All right then.
Definitely.
All right. Take care.
Take
Marie.
care. Bye.
Oh, what a lovely. I have to say, we all have our opinions and views, and I have to say there was a lot that we need to listen there to it. She said it very very well spoken and very smart lady. I have to say, and even though we have our own thoughts and right opinions on governments and education stuff, you can see what she means. She wants the best for the next generation and stuff, but she can see, like some of us can see that if things don't get sorted out, we're fucked. We're fucked. And again, yeah, Marie, if you still sit here, I just want to say thank you so much. Very inspiring. But Lee, I just want to say again to you, thank you so much for lastminute.com coming on. I know you've got your lovely wife to care for as well, and obviously she goes through a lot of tough times, but also make sure you get a lot of self-care for you, mate. So listen, we will meet up for that breakfast on Friday. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll meet in someone's garden while I'm doing someone's garden with a fry. But listen,
let me take the insurance for that one.
But listen, I just want to say thank you for everyone who's listened, commented, and stuff. On that note, my pure focus is on supporting these charities and causes and supporting a safe space between us and everyone who wants to be on this train and journey, who needs to speak, who needs support. I'm here, Lee's here, Kerry's here, Tessa says, Omni's here, and more other people. Someone has recommended during this live that why don't we set up and get heads together? Maybe, but everyone's welcome to email us, DM me with a view, opinion, idea. No idea to me is wrong. Let's just try it. But I just want to say thank you so much to everyone. I will also want to say, as promised to Lee and my team, that there will be no more of me worrying about Plumstead and the haters out there and stuff. I need to say thank you again to my team because they made me realise, listen, you've said your sorries, you've moved on, you've done bad, you're turning your life around and you're doing good now, so fuck them. So that's what I'll continue to do. So Lee, anything you want to add or before we say goodbye to everyone? Because my voice is about to go, mate.
Just exactly what you just said there, like, stop beating yourself up, or if other people feel like they're being judged, stop beating yourself up. We all make mistakes in life. It's about not looking back, it's about how we're moving forward. So that's about it, really. And as Kieran said, if you need any help or support, just message any of us. We're all here to help you. So
yeah,
that was it, really. And thank you for having me on again.
So thank you what?
For having me on again.
This is your space as well, man. This is your space. Having you on. Yeah, this is your space, man. You're my co-host as well. But listen, again, much love to everyone. I've been your host, Kieran. That has been Lee. This has been the craziest random podcast. But tomorrow, I need to mention, tomorrow, live at 10 a.m. in the morning, we will be going live again. Yeah, we were going live again with your host, Kieran, and one of our charities. And Plumstead, you can ask them for the charity number if you like. And Andy Man's Club, we'll be on talking to lovely Darren tomorrow morning to talk about what they do and how we can help and what we're doing and joining forces, not against each other. And look forward to that. If you're on, feel free to ask him questions. Feel free to ask him his charity number. I'm sure he'll share it. And on that note, see you at 10 o'clock in the morning. I have been your beautiful host, Kieran. That has been my sexy goddess, Lee. And this has been a safe space between us. Much love.